So this duel, I believe I went first finally. So I go first. My hand's pretty good, so I obviously activate Valon's Swirl to search a field spell. This will prevent the Imperm. I scale Wisdom, I scale Oath, activate Star Pendulum. Wisdom's effect will pop itself to search Iris, and then Star is going to search another card. I search Magician. This is basically full combo, right? This is full combo. But I decided to just go for Beyond or Electromite play, so I just decided to use the other Valons to summon Oath. Make of Electromite. Electromite pops the Iris, the typical Astro Electromite plays, right? So I drew Joker off Electromite, then I made Beyond. I couldn't make Celine because I already have enough cards to work with, but I decided to make Beyond, so why not? So scale Oath, scale Wisdom, pen summon from here. No, I scale Iris because I wanted Wisdom for later. So pen summon Astro, and then I pen summon a lower level so I can pop the field spell. So only need to pop one of the field spells because I still want to play around Imperm in case they did have it. So I popped my Star Pendulum Graph instead. Didn't need to, I could pop the other Iris, but there was no search. So they're playing Sorcel and they're teching in the Iris Sorcel, which is interesting because it is a disruption during my turn. So I summon Time Star and they pop my Time Star. Like, okay, that's fine. I still have combo thanks to you giving me a body to work with for Blackfang. So I copy Electromite, Astro, summons itself, searches another Iris, I believe, right? Yeah, and then I scale the Wisdom, and from here I continue combo because that's not gonna stop. Thanks for having a body there. Blackfang's effect is live, so it's easier to work with. Blackfang will summon my Celestial and then continue from there. So I make Chaos Ruler, Chaos, flips 5, see what I get. So Wisdom, sweet, cool. Awesome, perfect mills. So everything got milled. I added the Wisdom's effect again, so I can go for another Black Fang to pop itself and revive and continue combo. So Celine, right? So Wisdom pops, Black Fang, they know what's happening. So Celine's effect, I revive my Dissolver, Black Fang pops, search special summons again, my tuning, and they surrendered. Because they know what's gonna happen. Yeah, on to the next game. So I went second here, and the funny thing about this duel is I got Dimension Shifter. So that means it lingers onto my turn as well. And so any cards I use to pop itself will get banished instead of being sent to the extra deck. That includes Wisdom Eye, sadly. And any cards I use as material for anything or search for anything, right, to send to the graveyard, it all gets banished. So I have to play around the Dimension Shifter, and it looks like they're playing Weather Painter, which does nothing to me right now. So I drew Wisdom Eye, like, oh shoot. If I use the effect of Wisdom Eye, it's gonna get banished, so I decided to just scale both Wisdom and Oath Dragon. Of course, I searched for a body instead of trying to search for a Star Pendulum Graph, and I just found someone from here. Right? So double Iris, Harmo is going to search me Time Star. I mean, it's going to make Time Star. So the other Iris plus Harmonizing will give me Time Star. Time Star mills, well not mills, but cost to search my Astro. Then I use the effect of Sage de Fleur that I opened with to pop my Iris by negated the destruction and pop their card. Then I use Perform Vow Synchron to go into Chaos Ruler. So I know that it's gonna get banished, but I'm looking for a specific card and I hope Chaos Ruler will get that for me. So Ruler's effect, cool, I have it. So I obviously will add the Wisdom, everything else will get banished. And it's fine, because I'm going for game at this point since they don't have any other ways to stop me. So I scale Wisdom, activate the Wisdom to search Poison and scale. It's gonna get banished. Then Astro's effect will search me another Wisdom. And then I pop the other Wisdom to scale the Iris. And then Iris will pop itself. It doesn't really matter which I target because I already have enough for game. And it's going to search me Star Pendulum Graph for follow-up, which is whatever at this point. And then yeah, battle. They're forced to banish so they don't take double damage. And at this point it's whatever. Right? It's already game at this point. Yeah, GG. So in this duel I went second again. And I believe it was a Sky Striker player. Yeah, it was a Sky Striker player. So they searched Ray with Engage, normal the Ray, and then went into Shizuku. I'm assuming they didn't have any other plays at that point, so they set one, Shizuku searches, and pass. On to me. So here I had to play around certain cards. I had to play around that back row card, so I use Joker, Joker search, doesn't matter, they're gonna imperm, which is fine. The issue is, because of imperm, one of my scales is negated, which sucks, but it's alright for the most part. So I scale Iris and Oath and use Wavering Eye. Wavering Eye will pop both, and I search Astro. Astro's effect along with Iris's effect. So I get to search with Astro, and Iris will search me the Star Pendulum Graph. Now here I'm trying to plan on one more Disruption because I know they have one more. So instead of making Electromite, I decided to make Beyond the Pendulum. And Beyond is going to search, so I paid 12,000, but they had effect failure. So that's also fine. And I scale both Black Fang and Oath Dragon. I could use Oath Dragon's effect to add back my Iris so I have more bodies, but it doesn't really matter because I have enough bodies anyway to work with. So I scale and then I just spend some from you. So Astro, Iris, Harmonizing effect will search Celestial, then I make Time Star and continue with Route 2 combo, which is Time Star, Search, Spellcaster, and Electromite does Electromite things, right? So here I searched the card I was testing out, which is Sage de Fleur. So I should target Shizuku to pop it and prevent myself from being destroyed, but I didn't. So I negated Destruction and I made Electromite. Electromite is going to pop my Black Fang, right? That's the Astro, and then Black Fang, Astro, that's their thing. So the fun thing about this card is this card can recycle the Electromite. So you can have like triple Electromite's effect, one from Starving Venom, one from itself, and then the recycle effect when you summon it again, right? So it's a pretty neat interaction, but the downside is you have to play a Garnet, a level 1 plant Garnet, to make sure that effect goes off. But the level 1 plant Garnet we play in this would be the new Predaplant card, which is fine. If you draw it, it is what it is. But it's a really interesting interaction though. So I made Celine, right? So here, at this point, instead of making the Starving Venom, I decided to Celine go into Chaos Ruler. You know, honestly, I already have enough for game, so this is just overkill. But Chaos Ruler, just mill 5, see what I add. So I just added Synchron, right? And then linked off both Sage and my Celine. Now Sage will recycle my Electromite and adds me the level 1 plant. And Access is going to copy the attack of the link arrows off Celine. And I add the Predaplant, and honestly just go for him. This is just overkill. Alright, I just did one more flex, which is to make Hot Red. Not needed though. And yeah, GG. Moving on. This next duel was weird for the most part. So obviously I opened a weird hand. and the Garnet. So I activate Star Pendulum, I scale Luster and I scale Black Fang. Luster is gonna pop the Fang to search another Fang for a body, right? And then Star Pendulum is gonna search, I search double Iris, then scale Iris, pop both with Wavering Eye to search Astro, or no, actually no, search Joker because I was playing on a specific card. So Iris is gonna add me time, then on Joker is gonna search, Harmonize. So I kept thinking they had a Max C during this duel, now that I remember. I was like, alright, that's fine. So I scaled both, and they didn't Max C, so I was like, okay, so it's not a Max C at this point then. I still have combo either way, but it's not like a crazy end board since I kept assuming it was Max C. So Timer's going to search me Sage de Fleur again, then I make Electromite. I could have searched Astro instead, but it is what it is. Electromite can do the same thing. So Electromite's gonna pop Black Fang, Astro adds to hand, Astro Black Fang, draw, right? So I drew Duelist Alliance. Duelist is going to search me Pensork, and I used the effect of Sage de Fleur after Celestial, and it's going to negate the destruction of both cards due to Time Source effect, which will mill me Tuning Munition. Now here I scale Black Fang, then I linked both off to make Selene, and Pensork, it's going to be the other pop. So Selene is going to summon my Pensork, and Pensork is going to pop both scales. Now, Sage de Fleur's effect is not going to go off because this was in my hand. Try to play on Buffalo, whatever, the frog, right? So I linked it off regardless to make Frost Sheep. And then I use Dissolver. Dissolver is going to fusion summon both my Odd Eye Synchron and Pendulum Sword for the Vortex. And then Frost Sheep's effect is going to revive my Tuning. The Tuning is going to give them 400, I take 400, then I make Chaos Ruler and continue to mill to see if I can get Wisdom again. So cool, I got Wisdom. Nice mill, nice one, another Wisdom. That sucks, but it's fine. So both Wisdom, one Wisdom went to graveyard, I scale the Wisdom, use the effect of Wisdom to go for Poison because this is enough anyway, pop the Dissolver, and then just make Chaos Ruler in Hot Red, right? Then link all of these off to make Appaloosa, and then set the time, and yeah. That's basically the end board. However, this took a bit of time because I was thinking too much. So I only had about 30 seconds of interaction, say yes or no. So they kaiju my Vortex, that's fine. I should not have negated the first effect. I was also eating, but I negated the first effect. I should have negated the second effect, so now I'm forced to use Hot Reds here to stop the bounce of the other kaiju. Otherwise, they're just gonna kaiju either Appaloosa or my Hot Red, which sucks, I know. So now I only have 2 monster negates, and I know this is a Kaiju Luna go second only nonsense. So they had Dino Rexler, they went to battle. I activated time to pop the Dino forcing the quick effect. I negated with Appaloosa, of course, and this would mean I send their Luna instead of destroying the Luna. But however, due to time constraint, I timed out here, unfortunately. Yeah. So I could have won, but yeah, it is what it is. On to the next game. So this duel was pretty intense for some reason, I don't know why, but they had a Max C, so Joker, right? Joker normal searches, they didn't do anything to us, like, oh, they had an Ash, never mind. They ashed my Joker, like, fine, whatever. That doesn't do anything to me. I have Wisdom, right? So, okay, so I scale Wisdom, and then I scale, I think, Black Fang? Yeah, so I scale Black Fang, Wisdom pops. They had a Maxi, so they're maxing before I pen someone or anything. That's alright, fine. I'm not gonna use Chrono then, because Chrono will give them 2 draws instead of 1. So Wisdom pops, I search Oath. And then I just pen summon the Celestial. Celestial's effect will add me a card at the end phase. I use Oath to add back the Wisdom just in case they have Harpies. However, out here, I was debating to go in the Baguska because in my mind, I knew they had an Imperm. So I was like, do I risk it and pray they didn't open Imperm, which is a Veiler or a Bluff? But unfortunately, it wasn't Imperm. I was like, okay, well, I gave them too many draws then. So they're playing Alistair, and Alistair, the Invocation will give them the Makaba, right? So they linked it off, and then Makaba. Oh, they're playing Mech Knight in both. They made Predator. Like, alright, fine. So Invocation is going to give them Makaba, and then they Verte into DPE. So they have Alistair for a monster negate. So here I was debating whether or not I want to use either Chrono or Astral to do something, but I was like, nope, I'm not even gonna bother trying because I want to save it for what I draw. So they're going for battle. They pop my Baguska, alright, and they attack me directly for 3,000 total. And okay, so it's my turn. DP is gonna pop Verte, my scale. Like, alright, they said 3, so I have to play around 3 plus a pop plus a negate, which is most likely Alistair, so it's a monster negate. So Black Fang, decide half the attack Makaba, summon Celestial, they call by. So if they had a call by, I would have played around that and just target Skull Crobat instead, because I can always use Celestial target for something else. But unfortunately, yeah. So Wisdom Scale, they're gonna DPE, pop itself, pop the scale, and at this point I have to use one of the Astral or Chronos effect and pray they don't negate it, right? So I use Chrono here first, and they chose not to negate it. Like, alright, fine. So Chrono summons Astral, and I have to go to battle because I can't do anything else if I don't. So battle, I'm using Astral first because I know they have Alistair, so Chrono's not enough to run it over, and this will leave them at 2,750. I link both off and pray they don't have an Imperm again. So Beyond's gonna search, and then I search Oath, and they didn't have anything, so I was like, okay, cool, I can do something. So they have World Legacy, does nothing, doesn't really matter, I don't care, does nothing to me, so I scale both Wisdom, scale Oath, and then Pen Summon. So Pen Summon at this point, I needed 2 Magicians to go into Time Star for play, because I can't really do anything else, so I'm only allowed to summon Wisdom and then Black Fang, because scales are negated right now. Right? So Wisdom, Black Fang, Link exceeds both into Time Star. Time Star will search. So I mill Black Fang, search my Astral. I'm not going to search Solitary Fleur. Wisdom's effect, I negate the destruction, mill Pensword. Once again, activate, search Black Fang. Astral's effect will search me Wisdom. And then from here, I would have to make Celine. So Beyond plus Time Star. Or I use Oath to add the other Wisdom. So this will make me Celine. And I'm trying to go into resource grinding because I'm not going to set up enough negates. So Celine's effect is going to summon the Pensork that I milled, but they call by the Pensork, so that was 2 call bys. It's fine. Like, okay, I still have other plays, doesn't matter. So they're going to banish the Pensork. I target my Skull Crobat, doesn't really matter. To make Electromite. Electromite is going to pop the Black Fang. Oh, I actually searched Skull Crobat. Didn't mean to search that, it doesn't really matter. So Electromite is going to pop the Black Fang revives, the other Black Fang Astro is going to summon itself. And I don't think I can search another Wisdom. I think I went search 3 already, I believe. No, I think I have another Wisdom, but I searched Black Fang, I think. Yeah, Black Fang. So like, okay. So here, I drew Time Pendulum, that's sweet, perfect, that's what I need. So I Contact Fusion into Venom, Wisdom's effect, pops, search Iris, use the effect of Starving, copies Electromite, pops Iris, adds back Astro. I can add Chrono, but because Venom's to 1, it's not really an optimal play. So Astro summons again, Iris pops, searches Scarpen. So at this point, again, it's resource grinding, so I'm searching for more resource for follow-up because I don't have enough for game or anything of that. So Wisdom's gonna pop itself, and I'm gonna scale Poison, and then Star Pendulum is going to add me Harmel for follow-up. Set the Time Pen, and of course link those off for Appaloosa, and pass from here, because that's all I can do. So they have to play around Appaloosa and 2 pops. So they have Dasher. at this point, I don't want them to special summon just in case they have another card to normal summon. So I'm forcing the normal summon here instead of allowing the special summon to go through. Of course, they get DPE and this annoying card. The TP comes back. This card's also here. Yeah, and they try to go for battle. So they're forcing me to use time. So I pop poison. I'm forcing the DP's early effect. Then I negate it, and then I pop the DP, of course. And then this also forces Mech Knight to activate. And I add another card for follow-up. DPs, I'm not going to negate that, that's not worth to negate. Pop the Mech Knight. And I'm not even going to negate that with Alpha either, it's not worth it. Because the one card I'm trying to not let them mill is Harp Horror. Because it's most likely a Invoke Mech Knight Orcus player or something. It's a really weird deck, but I'm gonna prevent this from milling because I don't want them to search anything off that mill. So I negate it and force the normal summon so they have normal because I know they're playing Invoke and Mech Knight needs column. So they have one column. But it's already main phase 2, so it doesn't really matter. They're gonna link both off to make Lib. Lib is just gonna search them the quick play revival, or no, the normal revival. So like, okay, fine. They made Unicorn and they're gonna try to bounce a card back. So they're gonna bounce my time. They're gonna bounce time wrap, which is whatever. I have enough resources for follow up, and they're going to bounce another card back. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's whatever. Don't care. So they have one disruption, and that's about it. So I win at this point because my hand resource is way too much for them to deal with due to my setting up some fire turns, and I just went for game. Oh no, why this was such a long game for? I was also eating at this time too, so yeah, it was so awkward having to think and eat at the same time. But I skill Black Fang, pops the Unicorn, Black Fang's effect, revives my time star. Like, okay, yeah, it doesn't really matter at this point. Scale Iris, Scale Poison, 10 summon. Astro, and then just go for game. Oh, right. I chose to BM a bit and wanted to inflict more damage than necessary. It was already game, but gosh, so I'm trying to beef up Astrograph to do at least 6,000 worth of damage. So, yeah. Oh god. Or no, was it Time Star I used? Yeah, it was Time Star actually. Because I made Boro just in case they had something else, but they didn't. But 6,000 overkill. Yeah, GG. On to the deck list. Alright, so on to the deck list. I realized that for a couple seasons now, a lot of popular disruptions, for the most part, are things like Blackout and Chimera, right? And then the new Math Mech stuff with Super Factorial, discarding and sending cards on field. So I decided to add back a specific card I used back then, which is Wavering Eye. So if they're going to do stuff like that to you, you might as well just pop your scales for advantage over them doing it for you, right? And this will of course give you cards like Astrograph, and Astrograph will search back the card you destroyed while giving you a free body that you can also turbo into, say, a Beyond or Electromite play to try and play back around more back rows. And there's also like other cards I added to try out. So the new card I'm trying with it, someone did mention it on stream. I sort of like brushed it off, but then after rereading the card, and because Starving Venom is 2-1, I realized that this is a good option you can add for the most part. If when you use its effects, you get to recycle the Electromite. So you're playing like triple copies of Electromite for the most part. But of course, it comes with the downside of playing a Garnet, and that Garnet will be this card, which isn't okay. It's not that bad because it is a pen and it's a low scale. If you open with it, it just means you don't have this effect, the second effect live, but you will have a free body to work off while having the effect of Time Star to mill to prevent the destruction of your pen cards, right? And it's a great going second option too, to let's say prevent the pop of your card but destroy one of your cards thanks to Time Star. So it synergizes quite well with this deck, but like I said, the Garnet is okay. If you do add this card in, right, as level 1, if you use it for fusion off Dissolver and Synchron, so this plus this makes Vortex, right, you get to add back a card face up from the extra deck. So you can add back the Astrograph, you can add back the Chronograph, or you can add, say, a Wisdom or Black Fang or Poison, up to you really. So it has usage. But anyway, onto the deck. So one tuning, while I'm playing one tuning, because my Chaos and Hot Red package, of course, so one tuning. The new tech card I'm trying out, Sage de Fleur, along with the Garnet, which is the Predaplant card you need to search to activate the second effect, of course. The one Synchron Pensork package, right? So triple Pensork, triple Wisdom Eye, the one Luster is there to activate the effect of Astro or Chrono if you open. It's also a great way to go into combo with Pensork, so you pop Pensork pops both of them to search your Joker and another Perform Pound, continue from there, right? This will also help with your plays. The triple Joker is just your normal, free Ash, free Imperm, free Veiler, just take it all. Triple Harmonizing, not much to say there, it's just too good. I'm testing triple double Iris. I'm starting to like the third Iris for free body, right? Typically we play 2, and 2 is enough just to get your 2 graph cards. Its scale effect is good for going for game because it inflicts double damage. I'm gonna play it at 3 from now on instead of 2. Triple Black Fang, your monster reborn. Halves attack, really strong card. Triple Poison, try to break boards. If they continuously negate and destroy it, then it will continuously activate and pop and try to pop a card, right? So it's a great way of board breaking if they don't read properly. The only way to stop this is through non-destruction effects. Stuff like Appaloosa will stop the destruction effect, right? Everything else though that has destruction in text will continue to trigger this. It's really funny when it does happen. One Celestial, you just need one, you don't need more than that. It's a free search at the end phase. Typical thing I do with Celestial is I use Harmonizing, summon Celestial, exceeds both off into Time Star, mill the Celestial, use Celestial as cost to search, and then Black Fang pops, summons back Celestial will activate. In a situation where you're under max C, if you have a Synchro on field with Celestial, I would wait for the Synchro summon first, then use Celestial's effect, and this will prevent your opponent from using monster effects. So meaning they can't nib you, they can't Veiler, they can't Ash, they can't do anything outside of that max C activation at that point. So they're forced to deal with Celestial if you're trying to go for game. The one Butler, it's just another free extension play off the Pensork package. 2 Oath Dragon, I decided to cut to 2 now because the deck space is kind of tight, so I have to cut certain stuff down. So 2 Oath Dragon is enough for the most part. Back then I used to play 3 with more cards being unlimited like Harmonizing and Iris, and when I'm adding other tech options, yeah, Oath Dragon sadly has to go to 2 now. 1 Chronograph Sorcerer and 1 Astrograph Sorcerer. Most people play the other package along with these 2, which is the Time Gazer and the Stargazer. I don't play those, especially Time Gazer. I hate that card in Magician. It's either dead majority of the time or just worthless because you can't scale it. You have to normal summon it if you draw off Electromite, right? So it's only useful when you open Chronograph, and because Chronograph is 2-1, it's not worth playing Time Gazer. I don't like the other one as well because I'm playing Triple Waver Knight, so I really don't care for it. So I'd rather have usage over non-usage cards. So I'm just gonna keep these because they're useful, but their counterparts are not useful. So I don't play them. You can though if you want. I choose not to. Dissolver and Sword Target. 2 Duelist Alliance. I don't play 3 anymore because again, deck space is tight. And I also don't want to see 3 Duelists in hand anymore, so I cut it to 2, so it's less likely to open more than 1. I'm starting to like Triple Tactics Talents. I realized that several games now that I've played with Triple Tactics Talents, I always tend to break boards with, thanks to its second effect, which is to control 1 monster, run it over, and then just link it off to make Beyond the Pendulum, right? Because Beyond is 1 pen plus any monster. any effect monster, of course. Right, so I like triple tactics. Obviously, my only form of disruption outside of poison and or black fang will be triple tactics. There's obviously no Maxi, no Ash, and that's fine. I'll play through it. Doesn't matter to me. The one tactic is honestly enough. The Valon's package. Some people decide to play 2 Shara Banchos. I don't do that. I just play 1 and 1 because at the end of the day, I'd rather not draw the additional field spell off Electromite or anything else. I have other plays, so it doesn't really matter if I do open both. I can always just fodder them away off of Pensork if I need to. Or if I'm playing Magician Soul package, I can just mill both off it and draw 2. 1 Star Pendulum, double Iris target, 1 is all you need. Triple Wavering Eye. So like I said earlier, I'm playing Triple Wavering Eye because I've been noticing a lot of popular destruction type of effects becoming prevalent, right? Like Chimera, and the Blackout and Soul, right? So they're gonna pop your scales because that's what they're gonna do. You might as well just pop it for them and get yourself free advantage over them popping and giving you no advantage. So that's why Wavering Eye is there. It's also a great way to pop your Iris early to search your star, and then obviously as you've seen, Astro, Iris, that combo that I've been showcasing, right? So that's why I'm playing Triple Wavering. I'm starting to like this card again. Back then, I only played around like what, season 4 or season 5 or so, and then I took it out because Starring Venom was unlimited. The last card is of course Time Pendulum Graph, double Iris target, right? And that's about it for the main deck. 1 Vortex, 1 Starring Venom, Supreme King, 1 Warlord, my Chaos Ruler into Hot Red package because of Tuning Magician. I just love this card. Mill 5, search a card. That's lighter dark. It's too good. It also becomes a free body for Hope, right? Your Hot Red, your Baron de Fleur, your 1 Time Star. You can play a second one if you want, but 1 is enough. 1 Maguska if they max see you, and of course if they don't open Imperm and then Imperm you. But yeah, it's just there to deal with combo heavy decks or decks that likes to spam boards. So, except for Runix. If you're fighting Runix, well, it is what it is. 1 Hope Harbinger. You're gonna make this off of Chaos with Supreme King or the Sage de Fleur. Right? You have more ways to get to it now. The 1 Electromite. It's honestly you're playing like 3 Electromites in this deck because of this card. This becomes Electromite, this recycles Electromite, yeah. 1 Krashi, great way to revive a card if you fusion summon under it for the most part, right? The 1 Beyond the Pendulum, really good card. I prefer summoning Beyond over Electromite early now because Electromite gives you more plays afterwards, whereas Beyond is just there to search and pop as disruption more so than pop for advantage, right? The 1 Celine, free extender, really easy to work off of. Yeah, it's a good card. Appaloosa and Board Negate, and then access code of course for game. Yeah, that's about it for this deck. I quite enjoyed it, much more interesting than previous Pen Edition deck lists after the hit to Starving and of course the FTK. Obviously the FTK is still somewhat viable because of a certain card. I'm not going to bother saying it, but yeah. I did have a second version of this deck list I can show you. It was this version here where I did add a little bit more secondary options, so like Call By to deal with hand traps and triple mind control. The reason I'm liking these type of cards now is because of Beyond the Pendulum, right? Beyond is just way too good, and I'd rather go into that now, like I said, over Electromite to continue my plays and force them to deal with Beyond over the Electromite, because Electromite is more important than Beyond when you're going second, trying to extend. So that's why I have Mind Control here. This is my second version. I didn't get to test this enough. I was only testing the other version I showed. It's the same thing, right? For the most part, but it's the same concept, different end board though. you choose what you want to build based off the 2 deck lists I have. So anyway, I think that's about it. If you have any questions, please leave in the comments. I'll try to answer them. And yeah, also if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe. It really does help. I want to make more content like this. I also want to continue making other type of contents, hopefully like horror and whatnot. But anyway, that's about it. So yeah, take care everyone. Bye.